Hey guys, welcome back to the Meg and Maddie show. We are so excited to be back for another fun Wednesday.
Such a fun Wednesday. Maddie, what did you do this last weekend? Anything fun?
No, it was a really chill weekend at the lake. I think everyone's still recovering from the 4th and whatnot. We did have some severe storms as well. Power is out everywhere, trees down. So I'm thankful that I have some Wi-Fi to record.
I'm so happy you're safe.
Yep.
I did not have a very chill weekend.
Oh, sorry.
I sprained my thumb.
Meg put this on literally just for the intro. It's not on other clips.
Hearing it. I feel like a pick me. But yeah, no, I sprained my thumb real bad. I fell off a skateboard. I was doing really good at first, the little kick flip, all of that shit. Then I fell off, going really fast.
Okay, so thank you, Meg. Sorry. Who do we have on today?
Today we have Reese on. She's a track star from another Indiana superstar. She went to Cathedral as well with Maddie. But yeah, now she runs track at Notre Dame, rock star. And I'm excited to get to talk to her. So she's in the next clip.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Meg and Maddie show. We are joined by Reese Sanders, a Notre Dame track and field athlete today.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for hopping on. So you're coming live from Italy, right? You're still there?
Yes, I'm in Rome, yeah. I'm actually in the little university part of the campus. We have a cute little villa, and then we have our own little school too. Very high security. It's pretty tough trying to get in. There's so many codes and gates. So yeah, Rome, Italy. It's about 6 o'clock, almost 6:30.
That's good that they have high security, that you're safe.
Yeah, for sure. Every time we go in and leave, we have to scan, and the gate is super small, and I don't know, it's just very, very protected. So I feel good. But
so is this a school abroad trip?
Yeah, this is study abroad. I'm taking 3 credits, so just one class. It's 3 weeks, the perfect amount of time. I don't know if I could do any longer. I love it here. It's beautiful, but I love home. I'm a stay-at-home girl for sure, but it's been great.
What's been your favorite part so far?
So we just went to the Amalfi. I don't even know how to say it. The Amalfi Coast, and we stayed in Sorrento, and it was about 8 of us. These girls I had never really known or didn't know before this trip or this class. So we all went, and we all crammed into a little hotel, and it was really cute and fun. And we went boating in the, I don't know, it was this really nice boat. We all pitched in. That was probably been my favorite part. Got a nice tan going, and the water is beautiful. So we were swimming a lot, cliff jumping. So that's probably been my favorite part.
Fun. I'm jealous. Are they all Notre Dame people, or are they from all over?
Yeah, we're all Notre Dame students.
Oh, that's nice.
A lot of athletes
continue to be.
What'd you say?
Gotcha. I said that's nice that you can continue to be friends with them when you go home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Could definitely see some friendships going forward on the main campus.
So you come from a big sports family.
Mm-hmm.
Huge sports family. What was it like growing up?
Yeah, growing up, like you said, big sports family. 4 out of the 5 kids ended up playing college sports. Honestly, growing up, it was a lot of working out, a lot of group fitness, family outings to the gym, lots of sitting at baseball games, watching my brothers play, watching my sister hurdle, watching my siblings go to state, me wanting to go to state. Just a lot of looking up to my older siblings and what they were doing and wanting to be better than them and wanting to, try and get where I am today. I think about my freshman year of high school, I felt okay, I think I can run in college. This is what I want to do. I saw my brothers commit to college. I saw them get to school for free. All I wanted to do was just say okay, I can do this. I don't know. It was a lot of trust in myself, but yeah, sports kind of rule the world in my family. If you walk into my house, my parents have a big photo wall, and We've got like jerseys hanging up. We've got sports pictures. There's like one picture where my brother Bo, who played football at Elon, is tackling somebody, and then a picture below it is my dad, and they literally are like identical in like the same position. So it's just like a really cool photo. So sports are very important to us, just health wise. We just like to work out, and then it's gotten us into these great schools. So yeah, sports have been big.
A lot of you guys have played a bunch of different sports. How did you pick track?
So my mom was actually a track athlete in high school. I teased her though because she said she was fast, and then we finally found like a news article and like totally just told her times. And we're like, "Mom, you're lying. You're a liar." So my mom got me into hurdling specifically. My brother went to state in hurdling, 300 hurdles. My older sister Olivia went to state 300 hurdles. So it was a lot of family, coming down. And then I did a bunch of sports. I really loved basketball. I did cheerleading in high school. I decided to do track and cross country. Track 4 years, and then I did cross country 2 years when I was like, I need to be serious about running. And so yeah, my mom pretty much got me into hurdling. I started in about 6th grade. And so when I did all these sports, the only like good thing that I was good in all these sports was like how fast I was. So it just like made sense to just do track. But yeah.
The common denominator.
Exactly.
In 6th grade, we had like the elementary school like end of the year track meet. And so I was in the hurdles. I made it to the finals. And then so it's like the entire every 5th and 6th grade class from like all 8 of our elementaries are like sitting in like our college football stadium. And so I'm going, okay, I'm make it past like the 3rd hurdle, and I'm like in 2nd place. Like granted I was like 5th grade, but I'm like, I'm gonna win this. Trip over like the 3rd hurdle and eat it, and I fall, like scrape up my arms, scrape up my knees, and I'm so embarrassed because everyone saw it. Everyone saw it. My mom's like a photographer, so of course she's taking pictures of me. She gets me like clipping the hurdle, me falling on the ground, and then me crying. And so since then, I was like, I will never touch the track again in my life.
Was there a big like, ooh, because that's funny, but that always happens. It's like everybody's just like collectively like, oh, that's great. No, I feel your pain.
I was embarrassed.
Has that ever happened to you, Reese?
Not in a race, definitely in practice. So
not in a race is impressive.
Yeah, I've
really impressive.
I've clipped a hurdle, but I've never gone like down in a race, which is nice. I think mainly it would be the 100-meter hurdles that would get me down. I don't know. I think in the 400 and the 300 you have a little bit more control, but you're going so fast in the 300 and the 100 and they come at you so fast that sometimes it's hard to control yourself. But yeah, no, luckily not in a race, and hopefully that record is strong.
Hopefully we didn't just jinx that at all.
Yeah, I know. Go back to this pod if it happens. Blame it on you guys.
So you like really had your like true breakout season following COVID. How are you training during that time to like keep on pace to the goals that you were trying to reach?
Yeah. So you're talking about high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So during COVID, I didn't stop training. I snuck onto tracks, tried to train as much as I could. I finished my freshman year 7th place, which I was very happy with at the time, but all I wanted was to be on top of that podium. So I think like every single day during COVID, I thought about me on top of that podium because I just had always pictured like going to, and we talked about this, like watching my siblings and going to all their state meets and seeing all the champions I don't know if you've ever been to a track meet, but they do the podium frequently because there's so many events going on. So I would just love looking at the champion, like just seeing how happy they are. And that was like what I pictured in my mind for the longest time. And I remember going, and I got really into my faith at this time too. I remember going to church a lot and saying like, gee, God, like, please just let there be a state championship, like following my junior year. Like I really want the chance to compete. That's all I wanted. Then I talked to Coach O'Hara, who's the coach at Cathedral, which I developed a very great relationship with. So he was there every step of the way, sending all the girls, acknowledge, like, I can't think of the word, very nice messages, encouraging, that's what I'm trying to think of, encouraging messages to keep us going. So a lot of us kept training, maybe not together, but we tried to encourage each other to train because we knew that we were going to get a chance to compete. And following that year, like, we won a state championship because we were so into it. When other people, kind of took it as a break, we did not. And then I did cross country my junior fall, which got me in such good shape for the junior track season. And that I ran my first 300-meter hurdles, PR'd, and I knew it was just going to be a great season. And then I stuck on top of the number one list when, like, all the lists would come out in the rankings, and just kind of trusted myself, prayed a lot, and worked really hard. And luckily, like, the day of the state meet worked out perfectly. Like, we couldn't have done anything more, anything less to get to that win, which was probably, like, one of the best sports memories I'll ever have. And the girls, Coach O'Hara, like, we'll remember that forever. On June 5th, we always text each other, like, happy state day. Lots of good memories. So I don't know, that was kind of a long answer for your short little question, but I just never gave up. I knew I was going to have the chance to compete, and I did as much as I could, and just kept thinking of the podium. And when I got on top of it, it was the best feeling ever. So.
Well, in 2021, you're on top of that podium 3 times.
I know. That's funny.
But what I'm thinking about is, like, after every single event, like, we're getting updated. We're like, are the Cathedral girls still on top? Are they still on top? And it was the closest team title in, like, IHSA history. Mm-hmm. 7 teams in that last race had a mathematical chance at winning, and you're running the anchor leg. Yeah, what is going through your head?
You're giving me chills talking about it, because it wasn't too long ago. Like, I remember every second of it. But
what is going through your head when you're running this anchor leg, knowing that if you cross that finish line first,
that we won?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, during the race, or not, before the race, all 4 girls knew that we had a chance to win. But our coach did not tell us that. Coach O'Hara was not going to tell us that. Alexis Parchman, so there was 5 of us. It was me, my sister, Milani, Kayla, and Alexis. And the 4 of us knew in the back of our heads that we could win. But the other people did not tell us, and we weren't 100% sure. But that whole year, we had been ranked first. Like, we had the best time in the state all year, and all we had to do was run our usual race. If we ran like how we used to, like how we always did, like, we had a very good chance of winning. And at that time, my 400 split was really good. Like, I was in really great shape. I don't know what honestly, it's been hard to get back to, like, how that fast of a 400, because even in college, I don't train like a 400 runner, really. I train like a 400 hurler, which is weird to say because it's different. The training is different. But what's going through my mind is literally when I was getting handed the baton, I knew I was just going to have to go. That was it. It was like, give it my all, because if I can't hold back here. And I had a pretty good, up to that point, pretty good record of finishing a good race in the 4x4. So I honestly didn't feel a lot of pressure, which is crazy to say. But after I realized we won, and we had a chance to tie with, I think it was Zionsville, but they literally, like, if you watch the race, the last second, a girl passes their team to make it not a co-champ. So I was really just celebrating the 4x4 win first, and then realized we had won the whole thing. So I don't know if that really gave you the answer, but we were, like, very low key about it. And I remember telling Alexis Parchman, because she was done, she wasn't on the relay. I remember going, hey, we're gonna win this for you. Like, you're gonna win today, because she hadn't won like an individual title, but she had like a good chance in her 100, and she was a very good long jumper that she didn't make in the regional, which was like a very weird thing. But we're glad she didn't, because she would have been very tired for the rest of her races. So it worked out perfectly. But I was like, okay, we're gonna get you a blue medal, and that's like the last thing I said to her. And then the race happened, and that was that. But yeah,
that's so exciting and fun.
Yeah,
I miss those days.
Those kind
Was
of
cool.
stories like give me chills. Like you got chills thinking about it. Like hearing about it gave me chills.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's really awesome. I love it. We have a group chat and it goes off every once in a while. It's awesome. But
What was it like being able to run with Sid and like share those special moments with her?
yeah. So Sid's actually, this is a funny story. Sydney actually ran track. Like she hated track, to be honest. She ran track for me because she knew that we needed her on the team. And it's funny now because now she runs track in college. And she needed to realize that she loved it after I left because I was kind of like overshadowing what she was doing. Because Sydney's a great athlete. Like she could do anything she wants to. She just really didn't want to when I was there. But then as soon as I left, she like really embraced it. So running with her was amazing. She actually started the relay and I finished the relay, which is so special. And like we'll always have that. But yeah, it was more wholesome and a lot. I just don't think people understand how tough track was for her at that point. Like she really did not like the 400. She didn't like doing any of it. She mainly did that for me. So I was pushing her. We would actually fight in practice. Like if you talk to Kayla and Milani and Alexis, like me and Sydney would just banter. And because at the end of the season, it was just the five of us. So I mean, I felt pretty comfortable around them. But we would just go at it. We talked about maybe going to nationals because we had qualified as a 4x4. Sydney was like, "Hell no! Like I'm done after this." And I just remember that at practice, I was like, "No, guys, come on, we can do it." But Sid's like, "No, you can find somebody else to do it." But she pulled through and damn did she do a really good job on the day of state and after I left, and she continues to keep working hard, and I've seen so much progress in the way that she enjoys running and is running and like how she thinks of running. So it's been really great to see her kind of like be in her own world with track because it was awesome to run with her, but I don't think she would say the same about it with me. If you asked her the same question, she'd be like, "Ah, she's a no." Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but I'm mean on the track, especially when I want to win, and I knew we could. And that's the thing. I know Sid has so much potential, but she really tried not to do it when I was there. There's just something about when somebody tells you to do something you don't want to do it is just kind of like that. So that's just the sisterly love. But she loves track
You
now.
sound
So
like
that's
Meg
good.
and her sister.
What'd you
Meg
say?
and her sister. Right there.
Yeah.
That's
No,
Meg.
so I'm the middle. I'm the middle. My older sister is a year like above me in school, and then my little sister is 3. So I got to spend my senior year with my little sister, but then like my whole time in high school with my older sister. And it's
Yeah.
one of those things where like it's hard to turn off. Like Allie would say everything out of love to me, but it's my sister, so I'm like,
Right.
no, stop. Like we were on varsity volleyball together, varsity softball, like just constantly around each other. But
Yep.
we would like break into little fights before games in volleyball all the time, and everyone would be like, "What the hell is going on?" But Allie and I could just like turn it off the second we got on the court. But
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
the second it needs to be serious, like it cuts out. But then right after the game, it's back on. Like, but doing stuff with your sister is just like so funny.
Yeah. No.
And
It's funny that you say that because me and Sid literally every day, like we can flip on and off. I mean, I guess that's just like sisterly love. But I totally agree with that. That's so funny. And now though, she'll go to me for track stuff, and I think it's the cutest thing ever. Like if something happens in practice, she's like, "Reese, like this happened. Like how do I do? Like what do I do? How do I react to it?" And I think it's the cutest thing ever when she comes to me because I'm like, finally, like she trusts me just a little bit.
Yeah.
Not saying that I'm always right or anything, but I was like always trying to give her more advice, and she's finally taking it. So yeah.
it doesn't help with like Cathedral like being like much smaller if you guys were to go to a public school. Like you could have classes with her. You could see her in the hallway every day 4 or 5 times a day, and then if you're fighting, then you go see her on the track right after. And like I remember when I would fight with my brother and I'd have to see him in the hallway like 3-4 times, and I'm like, I'm done. Please, like, not talking to you.
Yeah.
So,
no, for sure. I don't think my sister and I
That
ever really got fights in school. I think actually we were the sisters that would want to go eat lunch together. Like if she was in my lunch and I had friends in there, I would still go sit with my sister for sure. Like that was just the best when we had the same lunch queued up or whatnot. And we used to drive to school together too, especially during the track season. We would just do all that. So
Works
yeah,
out
I miss
perfectly.
school with my sister. I was trying to get her to come to Notre Dame, but she didn't want to. It's okay though. It's okay.
It was her time to shine elsewhere.
Exactly. That's what she wanted. She's like, I am not going anywhere where you are. It's like, okay, bye.
So you competed in the Pentathlon for New Balance?
Pentathlon, yeah.
Yes. And you were the runner-up in the New Balance Championship.
Mm-hmm.
You were obviously like a natural athlete. You said that like in all the sports you're only good at running, but like I really don't believe that. What was the transition from like kind of hurdles and just like straight running to doing that?
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of got me there. Like, I guess I was pretty athletic in a lots of areas. I think it came a lot from my strength training in high school. Shout out Cody Johnson. Maddie, I don't know if you ever worked with him, but
The
Cody
GOAT.
Johnson.
Oh,
Awesome.
I would never forget that. I would never forget that.
Good.
I love him.
Yeah, no, he was awesome. He made me really strong, really athletic. So I think the transition was really easy from going to in high school from like hurdles to high jumping, long jumping, throwing, because that's what it is in the pentathlon. It's high jump, long jump, shot put, the 800, and what am I missing one? Did I say it? Oh, the 100 hurdles or the 60 hurdles. So all of that. I was a good hurdler though, so that was an easy transition. Throwing, I was strong because of weightlifting. And then the jumping though, I still am not good at jumping. The jumping was the hardest part. And I'm actually not doing the pentathlon in college anymore. That was actually this year's thing. So in high school, but that's funny they mentioned the national runner-up thing was crazy because I literally only trained for like 2 weeks, didn't really have a coach in any of the events. And I look back at some of the videos of my form and it makes me laugh. So I sent some to my college coach now and boy, was it rough. I have no idea how I did that, to be honest. I love to compete though. So when I show up to compete, like I'm going to compete, if that bar is going to go up, I'm going to jump over it. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out. And I was actually upset with my runner-up. I probably could have won, but it was my long jump, and my long jump cost me still to this day. So honestly, I'm angry about that competition, but that was a fun experience to be on that stage for the first time and to do the pentathlon, which I'd only done once before I went, was pretty cool. So I don't know.
Did you
It was
get
easy.
invited to that?
Did you what? Get invited?
Did you get invited to that, or was it something like you signed up for?
Yeah, so how college like or high school nationals works, honestly, like I had to pay to be in it. I don't know if like people get that. So there's standards and you have to qualify for the standard. And so you apply to be in it, and it depends on how many people apply and have hit the standard. And whoever have like the best nationally ranking in high school, because there's rankings for that and that you can see, like athletic.net or like MileSplit will tell you your rankings. So I just applied, and I don't even know how much I paid. I think it was like maybe $100, which is crazy that which is very normal actually when you're in high school and you have to do all these unattached meets. Because I couldn't be for Cathedral. Like if it was for Cathedral would pay for it, but it wasn't for Cathedral. This is all unattached. So I would pay to like be in it, and then they get accepted, and then you have to figure out like traveling plans. So it's a business for sure in that side of it, but it was a cool experience. So you just have to qualify.
What made you want to do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was committed already at that time, I believe, because it was senior year. Yeah, I was committed. I don't even know why I wanted to do it. I think I wanted to prove to myself that I was a pentathlete. And now looking back, it's funny. I'm not a pentathlete anymore. I'm a 400 hurdler, considering this past year went the way it did. it made me really recruitable saying that I'm a multi, because it was, I mean, nobody nowadays it's getting bigger, but now like usually like coaches are forcing their athletes to become a multi, and not a lot of girls are willing to be one just because of all of the stuff that's in it and the the competitiveness that it takes. So when you get someone going to you and saying, "Hey, I want to do this and I want to try it," it's already like a good recruiting task. So I would try and show how recruitable I was. I was like, I can long jump, barely. I can high jump. I can run a pretty far distance at a pretty good time. I'm actually quick too, and I'm strong. It's just you're a holistic like athlete, and they really dig that. Especially since if I was just like a pole vaulter, I can only get so many points. I can only get like 10 points for the whole team. But if I can do this and this and this, okay, I could get you like 30 points for the whole team. So it's kind of like one of those things. I don't know. Recruitable.
Gotcha.
And then I just wanted to prove that I could do it. And then that was what I qualified for. I'm not very good at indoor track. Like I thrive in outdoor track, but indoor track, not very good. So the pentathlon was like the only thing that I was honestly like able to qualify for. Like I would never be able to qualify for like an open 400 because that's just like way too fast. So I'm like a medium of like I could do this and this, but I can do them averagely and then put them together. So I don't know.
What's the difference between indoor and outdoor track for you?
The difference between indoor and outdoor track. So high school, pretty much I would run the 400, the 60 hurdles. And I guess I would do a lot of relays in high school, but in college track, there's a big difference. For me, I got recruited to do the pentathlon indoor and then the 400 hurdles outdoor. And so the first 2 years in my career, we were figuring out what I was going to be better at. I already had a great background in hurdling in the 300, so that was kind of what got me like the money and like into the university. Was like, okay, you're a 300 runner, this could translate well. Okay, she has potential in this. So it was just like a lot of potential. So indoor was mainly pentathlon, and then if I were to go outdoor, it would be the heptathlon. So you add 2 more events, which would be the javelin, and you'd add the 200. I never ended up doing the heptathlon. I did the 400 hurdles. So my like 2 seasons look very different in training wise, doing way too much in the fall, and then I kind of dialed down in the spring, just focusing on one event. So that's like the difference for me. But pentathlon, heptathlon is like if you're the multi, and then for me individually, it's just like I go from doing all these field things to just running and hurdling.
Gotcha. I didn't know that it adds events when you go outside. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. It's strange. But it makes sense because you can't really throw a jab inside, and you don't. I don't know. The pentathlon is a 1-day thing, and the heptathlon takes 2 days.
See, that's just like adding more work for everyone. Like, just keep the pentathlon outside normally.
Exactly.
But
yeah, the boys do
make the rule.
I know.
Yeah,
the boys do a decathlon, and that's wild to me. They have like a 16, 1500. They're wild, and they pole vault. But they do the heptathlon indoor, and they do the decathlon outdoor.
Those people are freaks.
Yeah.
Freaks.
I know. I mean, I'm one of them, unfortunately. I'm the freak there. But I was also very intrigued by this pentathlon in high school, and why I wanted to do it was because we have a girl on the Notre team. Her name's Jaden O'Brien. She just went to trials. She was like she went to Olympic trials her freshman year. She just graduated her senior year. Very, very good. She's 2-time national champion indoor. She just got 2nd outdoor in the heptathlon. I look up to her big time. Like, she is one heck of an athlete, one heck of a person. And I looked at her things that she did in high school, and I saw like how she developed into the athlete that she was. So our times were very similar in high school. And I saw like, and the same with like another girl at Duke. Her name was Erin Marsh, because I was also looking at Duke, and literally the same exact time, same exact events, and they translated beautifully. So I thought that could be an opportunity for me. It didn't. We ended up going a different path, but I'm finally got there, so it's okay. But that's kind of why I did it too. Yeah.
So you said Duke. Where else did you visit before landing on Notre Dame? Now that we've made it through your high school career.
Yeah, so I visited 11 schools unofficially, which is actually insane. But it was one of those things where it was like, this will never happen ever again, where there's so many opportunities in schools that are so interested in me. And it was from beginning of junior year to the beginning of senior year was so much talking about college recruiting. I just remember like being at the dinner table being like, oh yeah, like Pepperdine emailed me today, mom, dad, like maybe we should go see it. Or like, I don't know, every day I had something new to add, and it just felt like I was constantly thinking about it. I'd be in class emailing coaches and scheduling phone calls. But I wanted to experience all of them, but I cut it down after all those visits to Duke, North Carolina, UVA, which was funny because I originally had UCLA, and then I switched them out because I visited UCLA unofficially, and I was just not vibing with it. So I was like, okay, well, that didn't work out. So I switched that for UVA, and then Colorado Boulder, and then Notre Dame. I think that was all of them. But ACC, a lot of ACC, a couple Pac-12, and then I wasn't really vibing with the Big Ten. I visited all the Big Tens that were interested in me, like IU, Purdue, Minnesota. There's some other ones, but Penn State. I didn't visit Penn State, but I did get in contact. I was just not vibing with it. I knew I wanted a smaller, more academic, rigoring school, especially since this was an opportunity to get into them without academically being the best ever. So it was Notre Dame was
You
like
are
a no-brainer.
You are academically also the best.
But yeah, no, Notre Dame was a very special visit. I think it was my second visit, and it was coming off after Duke, and I really liked Duke, so it was tough. But at the end of the day, Notre Dame had everything I needed, and it wasn't too far from home. And then I really loved the coaching staff, and then the girls on the team were great, especially Jaden. Looked up to a lot of them, and I saw a lot of potential. And I really loved how Notre Dame did not kind of separate their athletes from their regular student population. So I was put in a dorm randomly. It's every freshman has to do it. Random roommates is what you call it. I found my best friends right off the bat, and I still live with them today, actually. So it's like two separate worlds. Big community, big football school. So it was a no-brainer. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Is it true that at Notre Dame they have like a redhead day, or like there's like redheads race? There's like a day where all these redheads race down like cobblestone sidewalks.
Yeah, you're right. It's called, I think it's called like the ginger race, maybe. We actually had one of our track athletes on the team. His name was Frazier. He did it. He won. And that night we had a formal, and he wore like his crown to the formal, and we were all just making fun of him, and it was funny. Yeah, no, they do have that, and it's in Legacy, and Legacy is kind of like the party. There's like a bunch of houses, and so like it gets really filled up on like St. Patrick's Day, some other crazy weekends, especially when we get back to school. There's a bunch of like darties. But Notre Dame is really not a party school, which I also was one of the reasons that I liked it, because it's like they try, and it's actually terrible. But yeah, no, there is a ginger race. There's a lot of traditions, lots of fun traditions within the dorm.
I feel like it's not fair that he was allowed to race.
No,
I don't think that's very fair.
I don't think it's fair either, but there were really no rules. So he's ginger, and that's it. You know?
What's been your favorite tradition so far? Notre Dame tradition.
Oh, that's a good question. My favorite Notre Dame tradition. Let me think on this.
There's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot. I mean, I'm trying to stay away from football because there's a lot within that. But
We can come
I
back
really
to it
love.
too.
Oh, I got it. We got like a drum circle every night at midnight before a home game during football season, and everyone gathers at the dome, and the drummers go and they like form in, and like it's a drummer circle, so like it's right by my dorm too, so I don't have to go too far. If I leave my window open, I can hear it. And so that's when it just like gets you in like the game day mood. Like everyone loves game. I can't even explain to you how much game day has an influence on our fall, because everyone's like planning for it. Everyone wakes up super early to tailgate, and the drum circle. There's like the trumpets. So much. It's just so lively. I don't know. So that's probably my favorite. And whenever I have recruits that come during the fall, because that's when they love to come to go to like the football games, and we try to impress them to like get them to come to our school, I take them to the drummer circle because I think it's the coolest thing ever, because everyone's just gathered around. It's the student population, and it's like super fun. Everyone loves it. So it's probably my favorite.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you're going to be a junior this year at Notre Dame. You had a crazy sophomore season. What is training looking like this off season? I know you're in Italy right now, so it's probably a little different than a normal summer. But what are you going to do when you get back?
Yeah, so off season right now, every summer we get emails from our coach saying like voluntary workout ideas. So he kind of just gives us a 7-day plan, but he gives us a bunch of weeks. So he'll give us like 2 weeks at a time, and he'll just give us a bunch of ideas. And I just kind of use those ideas and like kind of make my own workout from them. We get lifting sent to us. So our lifting coach, we're always in communication with her. We have like a full summer plan. But right now in Italy, I've actually been training pretty hard. I have kind of just like found places around the city that would be good for like longer runs. I'm trying to get my endurance up. I think that's kind of where I struggled this past season. So just strength. And then I'm going to be working a lot on speed this coming season, just because I haven't really focused on it honestly ever. Like I've always been an endurance girly for some reason, even though I'm not like a distance runner. But you can tell that like my speed is off, because when you look at one of my races from like 400 hurdling, I get beat like by the third or second hurdle, and that has nothing to do with endurance. That has to do with how fast I got out and like the speed of it. So right now I'm working on endurance, but when I get back with my coach and like actually watched, I'll work a lot on speed and strength to just get me stronger. And then hopefully I have the endurance from whatever I've been doing in the training, because we do like swimming and we do bike workouts, hills, just hoping that like that endurance will like play me through as I develop speed too. So it just like will come together as one, hopefully soon. But yeah, my sophomore
What are
season.
your?
Oh no, go ahead. No, you're good.
I said, what's your like ultimate goals for your junior season?
My ultimate goals for my junior season, indoor, I have no idea what that's going to look like. Like I said, I've never really been great at indoor. That's really not where I thrive. I'm not doing the pentathlon anymore, so I won't be doing that at ACCs, which is what I've been doing the past 2 years. And I probably would just do some 400s. I really love the 800 for some reason. I like the 800, maybe because I am a distance girly, like I said, but I don't know, the 800 just makes me feel good, especially when I pull out like a crazy time that I'm like, I didn't know I could do that. But my goal for indoor would probably just to get faster and to like be in really good shape by the time outdoor comes around. Hopefully I make it on the 4x4 team. Like that would be great. I know we have a lot of great recruits coming in. So if I could make the 4x4 team, we could probably go pretty far with that. And then outdoor 400 hurdles. This past season, I was 6th at the ACCs, which was mind-blowing to me because I didn't have like a great season going up to the ACCs. I just had to kind of believe in myself, which was what like my coach was telling me. And I don't know, I just had a lot of fight at ACCs because I was hungry for something. I know my freshman year, I was like 14th, like wasn't even close to making it to the finals. And it was just very, very humbling experience, especially coming off like a high school career that was so high in expectation and standards. So like coming in like not really doing much for the team, like feeling like I didn't, I was lacking. It felt like really very, very good. And getting a medal at conference or like in college, I think is the coolest thing because it is so hard to do, and you don't get like they don't do medals. Like in high school, like you get like a medal almost every meet, but like in college, you get one medal and you get one chance. And I really wanted a freaking medal. So if like you watch the race, I was coming in like 7th, and only top 6 get medals. And I literally, like, in my head, I'm counting the girls. I'm counting the girls, like, oh my God, like, I'm not going to get one. I'm not going to get one. Okay, I got one. Thank God. I remember getting it too. And the guy was like, are you Reese from Notre Dame? I was like, yes, I am. I like took that.
Yeah.
But my goal for this year would hopefully to do that again, make it to regionals. And hopefully I'm in really great shape to make nationals. Making the nationals team is very hard. You have to be 12th in your region, and our region is actually more competitive than the West Coast. So even getting to regionals is harder, and then making it to nationals even more hard. But I'm just here to trust the process. Hopefully my training will do good. But like goals for my future would hopefully be an Olympic trials finalist, or not finalist, but at least make it to the Olympic trials in 2028. And that gives me like 4 more years to get down like 2 more seconds. And I think I'm literally like just now understanding that I could be good at it, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of there was a lot of optimism at the end of this season, especially since I decided, hey, we're not going to do the multi anymore. My coach, I literally finished my 6th place race at ACC's. He's like, yeah, like I don't know if we need to do that anymore. And I'm like, really? Like I don't like we're not doing that. And like literally right after I crossed the finish line, we're talking about this. I'm like, okay, wait, I kind of like this idea, coach. You kind of have a point. So it was kind of decided for me. But yeah, that's my goal. My goal is hopefully to get to trials. Like I actually was watching trials the other day, and I get like jealous watching all these girls. Like I don't know, run at the trials. I'm like, well, I'm not fast enough, so I shouldn't be there. But I literally have on my home screen, I have 28, mark my words. That's me like watching it. This is going to be on my home screen for a while because it makes me mad. So I don't know. I just feel like a little girl, like a little. I feel like a little thing. I need to open my mind up a little more. Yeah. So that's
obviously the Olympics are in Paris, but like you're kind of close enough. Like, is the excitement building over there? Have you started to catch on to it?
Yeah, not really, honestly.
That's sad.
I know. It is sad. It looks fun in Paris, though. I went to Paris in March, way before like any of the Olympic trial things were going on. But I don't know. Paris seems like a really great, fun place. But I bet it's very hot. It's really hot here, like crazy hot. Like it's bad. Like I'm ready to go. But yeah, no.
What day are you going home?
What'd you say?
What day are you going home?
Saturday.
Oh, that's not bad. You're almost there.
Yeah, you're almost done. There.
Yeah. No, I don't want to seem like spoiled though. Like I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and actually, Notre Dame, they pay for athletes summer abroad, and so this is like completely paid for, and it's just, I mean, it kind of just comes around to like how many doors track is open for me with all this. Just it's unreal. So
speaking of opening a new door, you have a podcast at Notre Dame, the Golden.
Yeah.
But before we get into your podcast, your major is super interesting. Is it still psychology and film and TV and theater?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I'm double majored in psychology, and then what was that? How did I pick that?
How did you? Yeah.
So I've always been into psychology, especially since I'm a little freak myself with the way that I think and sports. So I've always been a little curious to why I feel the way I do sometimes, or why I am the way I am, or, things that have happened in my life where I've wanted to help other people do the same. I don't know if that made sense. So psychology has always been the question for me because I honestly love talking to people, and I think that I can help in areas that people just might not quite understand. I was diagnosed with like obsessive compulsive disorder in about fourth grade, and that kind of like ruled my life. I don't know if you know much about it, but it's like you get these compulsions that you like have to do because or you get like obsessed about like a certain thought, and then you have to like let's say I have to like touch this water bottle like 5 times, or I think like my parents are gonna die, and so I would have to like do that. Like it started to like affect my life, but that also made me like a really great athlete because I was also like I have like an obsessive way of thinking, I guess, not in like a crazy way. But I went and saw a child psychiatrist for the first time in fourth grade, and they truly changed my life. And so I had always been like, okay, I think I was meant to be one. Like, this is why it's happening. So that's what I would want to do with psychology, is like be a clinical psychologist. And it's, you can go anywhere with it. So I think that's really cool. And then television, I've also just loved filmmaking, movies, acting. And so I didn't even know that Notre Dame had a television or FTT major until I was committed to the school. So then I realized I could do both, and I didn't have to choose. And they recommend in the arts and letters school to do 2 majors, and they are like perfectly go together, and they are very great majors, and a lot of athletes are in the FTT one too. And so it's great, actually. And then I'm a sideline reporter for Fighting Irish Media. So there's lots of media opportunities at Notre Dame that I honestly did not know until I got to school. So, but yeah, that's kind of
how did your podcast then come about?
Yeah, so
like
the podcast came about because I was getting more into NIL, and Notre Dame really pushes the NIL. They have a lot of resources for us to get the information we need and compliance, and they really do like set us up pretty well, and they want us to do that. So I made a meeting with a girl named Kayla Rogers. Well, not a girl, a woman, but Kayla Rogers, and she's been super helpful. And so I was just in the right place at the right time because I was telling her my interest, and I was considering like, oh, like I would love to do like a podcast. I would love to do speaking events or whatever. And she was like, actually, we have someone who is looking for like help with a podcast. And she kind of told me like what it was going to be about and what was all the logistics of it. I had no idea who was the person behind it or the idea. It was actually Jimmy Collins, who's a student at Notre Dame, who's like the best person ever. I'm so glad I met him through the podcast. And then it was kind of his idea of like, because he's a sports fanatic, like he loves sports and he knows literally everything. So I was like, oh, like, okay, I might be interested in that. So I texted her like a week later asking her if that was still a thing. And she was like, okay, yeah, like you got it. Like, I was like, do I need to send anything? Do you want any info? They're like, no, like you can do it. Like, we want you to do it, but we need to look for a male. And so my mind clicked, and I was like, I know the perfect person. So that was Isaiah Dunn, who's also another podcast host, who's a football player. So he was another athlete, and that's who they were looking for. And I was like, perfect. It's football too. Everybody loves Notre Dame football. What's, like perfect combination. And then I met him through acting class that semester. It was fall semester of my sophomore year, and he had shared similar interests to me, and he had like a very fun like personality that would be interesting to listen to. So I asked him, and he was totally into it. And then we all 3 met in Kayla's office, and that was the first time we all met together. And it just, Jimmy's the tech guy, Isaiah knows everybody, and then I just try and stay in the loop with everything, trying to keep the boys together because they don't like to respond to a lot of my text messages. I have to kind of, bother them a lot more. So that's kind of how it came about. But we just had very similar interest in the fact that we want people to understand the athletes, not from like a sport perspective, but like them truly. Because when I was thinking about it, I was like, if I were to go back and I had the opportunity to listen to people who had talked about their experiences, their recruiting, and what they go through, I would have absolutely loved it. And even now, I love relating to a lot of the girl athletes, the boy athletes that have struggled but then persevered through it, and then seeing what they do on the field, on the court, is truly inspiring. And I feel like there needs to be more of a platform for us to speak, because nowadays stories get twisted so much and stereotypes happen, and it's just so important to me to like make sure everyone has the full story, and that everyone's kind of in the athlete world put on a pedestal, and it's just like, what's behind the real person? There's so many stories and pressure that goes unnoticed, that no one really knows about. So that was kind of like my take at it. And then honestly, the athletes have really enjoyed it. And it's funny because I feel like everybody kind of knows me now as like the like little podcast girl. Like people are like, oh, I'm going on a podcast tonight. And I remember like one of my friends was like, yeah, someone was talking about it in class. And I'm like, oh, is it the golden ticket? Like with the one girl, Reese? And I was just like, it's just funny to me. It's not like huge or anything, but I've definitely tried to like push it a lot. So it's getting there. It's getting there. But that's kind of how it came about. Sorry for the long story. I'm talking a lot, but whatever.
We love it. You make our job easy. But yeah, they call us everything. Let It Fly Girls, the podcast girls. We've heard it all before too. So you're good.
Yeah.
That's kind of
But that's ultimately why I reached out to you, is because we have that like same mission. Like our whole mission statement is revolved around like the athlete beyond the jersey. So that's why I wanted to reach out to you and just see what you guys were doing over there.
Yeah, no, I think we're looking to expand to other schools, but we haven't gotten quite there yet. We kind of wanted to focus on Notre Dame first, especially since like the golden ticket. But we have lots of ideas, and we're excited for this year, especially since we have like a full year together to where it's like we know what we're doing. So be on the lookout for some good stuff, some partnerships, all of that. We've got a lot going on coming up, but yeah.
I think we're on like the exact same track right now. Like we are doing the exact same thing because we started with Creighton, and Creighton basketball being in Omaha. So we totally get that, and like the want to expand. But I can't even imagine like then being a student athlete on top of that, and you're a double major and doing all of these things. Like, you're doing pretty good at it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reese, for coming on. We really appreciate you, and she loves to talk. I mean, that was awesome.
She gave us a lot of good answers. She made our jobs really easy, like I said. I'm super excited with her transition into just primarily focusing on 400-meter hurdles. Maybe we'll see her in some Olympic trials in the future too.
I'm excited. I'm really excited for her.
Yeah.
But that's all for today. Thank you. We'll see you next Wednesday.